Hi everyone, my name is Raya Maamari. I work as a social work lecturer at Sultan Qaboos University in Oman, and currently I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Nottingham in the UK. The title of my presentation is Social Capital as an Effective Link to Disaster Management, Examples from a Collectivist Community. So at the beginning, I'm going to give a brief introduction about managing natural disasters. Then I'm going to focus on social capital. Then I will be discussing the research methodology, followed by some quotations from the collected data with highlighting the importance of social capital. Finally, some conclusions and recommendations will be shown. The continuous incidents and disasters witnessed around the world and the huge human and economic losses inflicted all assert the need to improve disaster management. Indeed, the literature has argued that social capital can be used as a tool to improve disaster management. Social capital has been defined by a number of researchers. For example, Bourdieu described social capital as the sum of actual or potential resources associated with the existence of a permanent network of social relationships. Reininger and colleagues said social capital is conceptualized in light of social connections among homophilous network members. This level is known as bonding social capital across heterogeneous networks and organizations, and this level is known as bridging social capital, and to those with higher status and power, and this level is described as linking social capital. We can see that social capital includes social networks, interaction, cohesion, and solidarity among the members of society. After defining social capital, it is very important to explain how could we generate social capital. Harper argued that social capital is formed by changing relations among individuals to simplify actions. Ceci and Centron argued that social capital enhances cognitive and social development and benefits human capital formation. They emphasized that human capital influences social capital and that experiences and cognitive abilities influence interpersonal relationships and collaboration. Reininger and colleagues clarified the relationship between cultural capital and social capital, noticing that cultural capital functions as a social relationship within an economy of practices and includes accumulated cultural knowledge that boosts social status and power. Moving on to discuss the research methodology, as we can see, the research has adopted constructivism as an ontological standpoint and interpretivism as an epistemological standpoint. In terms of the research design, this research is a qualitative research and it was used for this topic because it is more sensitive to human issues and explore deeply the understandings and experiences of specific people. In terms of the method, the data was collected through conducting semi-structured interviews with 43 participants who were social workers, NGO workers, and people who were affected by natural disasters. Regarding data analysis, thematic analysis was used to analyze the data with the help of the in vivo software. Now I'm going to present some quotations that highlight the importance of social capital in times of disasters. A male social work manager described a real situation that happened to him and said, "There was a family whose wife had diabetes and her condition had gotten worse in this situation. We didn't know what to do. The school that was being used as a shelter was in the middle of a residential neighborhood. So my colleague and I had to go and knock on the doors of all the surrounding houses and ask if there was anyone in the house who had diabetes and spare medicine. Thanks to Allah, we succeeded and found a home with a woman with the diabetes. So we took some of her medication and brought it to the sick woman. Fortunately, she recognized the tablets and knew they were suitable for her. So she took medicine and her sugar levels went down and she was much better. Social capital can be seen in the above situation. It shows the importance of social relations and how members of the local community were engaged in helping the affected people. An affected person said that he went to buy food and other basic supplies before the hurricane occurred, so that he could meet his family's needs for several days until life returned to normal. This was based on the advice he received from an Indian colleague who had experienced natural disasters before. He said, I remember that an Indian colleague was with me. We went to the hypermarket and he said, a hurricane is coming. I asked what this meant and he said, I should buy extra bread, water, candles and everything because of the hurricane. He told me that this happens in India and he knew what things would be. I came home and told my mother and she said, yes, let's get extra food and water. It can be seen that some individuals have developed a knowledge base of what would happen and how to behave based on shared experiences from others, which reflects the strength of their social capital. These individuals were aware of what would happen and made a point of preparing by purchasing food and other basic necessities before the disaster struck. A male non-governmental organization worker said, we sometimes receive photos and messages on our accounts on social networking platforms, so we directly contact the volunteers in that area even late at night. They go directly to the location of the case without hesitation to provide the needed assistance. Indeed, the internet can create and enhance social capital through creation of larger online ties. In times of disasters, social media has been used in a variety of ways, from facilitating volunteer recruitment during an earthquake to supporting post-hurricane emotional recovery. A service user's daughter said, we did not have enough money to solve all our problems, but when the whole family cooperates, you don't need help from outside. You can stand again, solve your problems, and recover from the damage. Indeed, within the Omani society, the extended family is a valuable form of social capital. The extended family can be relied on as a support system, and whenever a family member needs help, relatives do not hesitate to come to their aid. The service users noted the considerable support provided by relatives. A service user's daughter described her experience of being moved to a new neighborhood and said, after we settled in the new house, we started to build a good relationship with our neighbors. We knew some of them before, but we got to know new women as well, because in the afternoon, women put a mat near our home, gather and drink coffee. Indeed, the ability of service users to create and strengthen community and neighborhood relationships is noteworthy. They enhance their social capital to adjust speedily to their new situations. For example, attending frequent informal gatherings with neighbors. It can be seen from the statement that having strong human and social capital enhances community resilience, in which individuals respond actively to the disasters and facilitates rapid adaptation to changes resulting from them. Some researchers asserted the importance of social connectedness and optimism as features of community resilience, and the importance of developing aspects of social capital as a valuable way to improve the capacity of a community. In conclusion, we can see that as the Omani society is a collectivist community, social capital can be used as an effective link to improve disaster management. And the significant recommendation that should be taken into account is the importance of strengthened social capital. So social workers should consider the importance of including social capital in their intervention. That was my presentation, and thank you for listening.